What's going on, everyone? We have a special announcement for you guys today. I'm joined with Jack, who you may know from our podcast, Dashcast.
That's right.
He's here today because he's going to be joining me on one of the biggest trips that I will have ever gone on. Also joining us will be National Coasters, Josiah, and our friend Evan. This group of four is going to Japan and South Korea. I announced a while ago that we were, in fact, going to be going to Asia. But now we have the countries on lock, we have the dates on lock, we have the parks on lock, we know what we're going to be doing, and in this video we're going to be announcing all of the parks.
I'm excited. This is going to be an amazing trip. Got quite a bit of stuff on the itinerary, so we're about to run through all of it.
So for the past 3 years, I've been doing Europe trips, and they have been absolutely phenomenal, but it seems like all of my comments these days are, when are you branching outside of America and Europe? And I'm so glad to finally be bringing that to Coaster Dash. And first and foremost, thank you all again for your continued support. I say it all the time, but it really does mean the world. These trips would not be possible without it. And frankly, just having the community is fantastic. And as a matter of fact, while I'm at it, shout out to the community over at Patreon too. You guys will be enjoying some early access to these vlogs. And if you'd like to be a part of that community too, I'd highly recommend checking out the pinned comment and description. You'll see a link. Check it out. It's $5 a month, and there's a lot of cool benefits, the early access. And as well as that, we have still our Dashcast podcast.
Dashcast, yep.
We're going to be recording one of those literally right after this. Beginning July 29th, this trip will be 4 weeks long across Japan and South Korea, which is just ludicrous to think about. We've got over 25 theme parks that we'll be visiting for the first time, which is completely insane. But the list of parks is subject to change. Things happen. You got weather, delays, things of that sort. So we'll see what happens.
All right, so our first day in Japan, we're going to be doing Tobu Zoo, which of course has Kawasemi, which is an intimate megalite. You've done the one in Denmark.
I have, yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, I've yet to do an Intamin Megalite, so I'm really looking forward to that. There's not too much else in that park. They do have a wooden coaster, an Intamin wooden coaster.
Yeah. People call it Regina George. I'm excited to ride Regina George. Next day, we will be at Yomiuri Land. This is actually one of my most anticipated parks in Japan. I think this place looks
really cool, yeah.
Yeah, they got the Gerstlauer inverted coaster, which is super unique. They have Bandit, which is a massive Togo hyper coaster. It was the inspiration for Magnum XL200, right. Yeah. And they also have one of the craziest rapids rides in the world themed to ramen. There's nothing more Japanese than that.
That's probably my most anticipated ride in that park.
I think so too, yeah. It looks really cool. And that park is just so colorful. It's like quintessential Japanese park. So yeah, we're stoked for Yomiuri Land.
And that's the one where you take a sky ride into the park as well.
Yes, absolutely. And then that same day, we're going to try to do Tokyo Dome City. That's one we'll just do whenever, because it's right in the heart of Tokyo, and we're going to be spending a couple days in Tokyo, actually. We're just going through the list of parks specifically. But Tokyo Dome City is, of course, home to Thunder Dolphin, which is one of Japan's premier roller coasters, I would argue. It's a massive Intamin coaster.
It's one of the tallest coasters in the country, maybe second tallest behind Steel Dragon.
Yeah, and it's like one of the tallest coasters in the world even, so it's enormous, and the scenery around you is going to be so sick on that. And they also have a couple other family rides that'll be worth checking out as well.
And then the next day we're going way up north to Nasu Highland, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, this is a detour. This is one hell of a detour, actually.
They have quite a few coasters, some unique ones, and our headliner for that park is definitely Big Boom, which looks crazy. It's a Meisho coaster. The drop looks insane, so I'm really looking forward to that one.
Meisho is a super obscure manufacturer. You find most of their coasters in Japan, but they even have coasters in places like North Korea. It's ridiculous, but you won't find any here in the States. This is the first of quite a few we're going to be riding from Meisho on this trip. They also have like a super interesting Bat Flyer coaster where you hang under the track. That'll be bizarre.
They have a spinning coaster at that park.
Very weird spinning coaster. Lots of other stuff, and that's another quintessential Japan, just colorful park. Super, super cool.
I think that'll really give that, Japanese park vibe.
It definitely will, yeah. And then we have Tokyo Disneyland. So this is when we're going to be starting our Disney leg of the trip. Dude, I'm so freaking excited.
Yeah, these are the parks I'm most looking forward to. I love these Disney parks.
Oh my gosh, bro. Tokyo Disney, by the way, as a resort, is not actually fully owned and operated by Disney.
So they have the Disney Imagineers and the brand and everything, but they get the budget from, this Oriental Land Company. And
they throw a lot of
their
money.
Maintenance is supposed to be just like top notch. So I've heard that all the lighting effects, all the animatronics on like all the rides are working all the time. That the parks are just very well run, even compared to the American Disney parks. Really looking forward to visiting
some really
this resort.
unique ones here too. I got to shout out Pooh's Honey Hunt. I'm really looking forward to that. I've also got to shout out Monsters Inc. Ride and Go Seek, and then also Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, another trackless dark ride.
Yeah,
and then
that's a newer one.
The one I'm most looking forward to is, of course, our beloved Splash Mountain.
Oh my god.
We lost him here in America, but there is still one. There's
left.
Still the one in Tokyo, and I would imagine that'd be the best one.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that one's still around, so I'm really looking forward to
Tokyo Disneyland is going to be sick. But not to outdo it, Tokyo Disney Sea for 2 days.
That's right.
This is probably my #1 most anticipated park in the world. And the fact that we're going to be going together as a group.
It's crazy because they just opened Fantasy Springs last year. Massive new expansion. It features Frozen, of course, which looks like one of the best dark rides in the world.
It does.
Peter Pan, similar ride system to Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, so I think that'll be great. They have the Tangled Boat Ride as well, but then they also have Mysterious Island in that park, which is kind of Jules Verne themed with Journey to the Center of the Earth, of course. Same ride system as Radiator Springs Racers and Test Track.
Cool.
They have their own iteration of Tower of Terror. It's not themed to the Twilight Zone. It's a whole
That'll
own
be fascinating
theme.
to ride.
I'm really interested in that. They have their own version of Indiana Jones, so they just have a lot of top-tier attractions, but honestly, the attention to detail here is really what I'm looking forward to
That's what I'm
seeing.
most excited for. This park, people describe it as Disney if they had no budget, which is just, I mean, honestly, it's kind of true.
Now that they have Fantasy Springs, there really is a lot to do here.
Oh,
and we know that these
need
Tokyo Disney parks get crazy crowds.
Yeah.
So.
We definitely are expecting some heavy crowds with Disney and then another park we'll talk about later. Other than that, Japan is kind of known for their low crowds, so hopefully we're looking pretty good there. The next day, we're going to be doing a small park day. We have 3 that we're going to be trying to hit in one day, which is kind of crazy, so we'll see what happens there. But first is going to be Tokyo Joyopolis. This is a very small park, but they do have Gekion Live Coaster, which is a really weird Gerstlauer spinning inverted coaster. Apparently, it's kind of like Guitar Hero.
Oh, yeah. You play it's like interactive. It has a game, apparently.
That'll be so bizarre. I have no idea what to expect there. There's also Yokohama Cosmo World pretty close by. So this has Diving Coaster Vanish, which I've heard is not that great of a ride, but it's the clickbait coaster. You have to ride it. It goes down into this body of water, and then the water just kind of explodes outward. And then also that day is going to be Sea Paradise, probably my most anticipated park that day because of Surf Coaster Leviathan, which looks like a fantastic coaster, maybe even one of the best in Japan. Togo is another one I wanted to shout out. So Togo is kind of known for their crappy rides, at least here in the States, but over in Japan, a lot of their coasters are well respected, this being one of them. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, this is a pretty unique one. So this is definitely the coaster I'm looking most forward to on that day with these small parks. We probably wouldn't really be spending that much time at any of these parks, but you know. And then up next, one of the highlights of the trip, Fuji-Q Highland. Of course, we're going to Fuji-Q Highland. And Ejunica had been closed for a while, but it just recently reopened. We are really looking forward to that. That's personally my most anticipated coaster of the trip.
Yeah, no, it looks incredible. I'm a huge X2 fan.
We've been doing X2 for years, but that ride looks next level.
Oh my god, I don't even know what I'm going to think when I'm on that. I'm going to be flipping.
There's also Fujiyama at that park, super long toga coaster. That's actually one of the longest coasters in the world.
It is.
Takabisha, we of course now have Shellraiser in the States.
Yeah, I've been on that.
So. Yeah, but you know, I haven't done that one yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Unfortunately, Dodonpa is no longer at this park.
Oh, God, don't remind me.
Yeah. And then they have an Intamin coaster called Zokon as well.
Yeah, that's new. That'll be cool.
So there's not a ton of coasters here, but they are definitely, standout rides.
Yeah, one of the best coaster lineups in the country for sure.
Yeah, we've definitely heard horror stories about, the operations and the crowds at this park, so hopefully we can get our laps in on everything.
Because we're only planning one day, but we can do 2 days and adjust accordingly.
So we might need to add a day here. We'll see.
Next day, primarily a sightseeing day, but we will be going to a park, and that park will be Hamanako Pal Pal, which looks really cool. This park has a gorgeous setting on the water, and they also have a few coasters that look decent. So Mega Coaster is the one headliner there. That's also a Togo coaster, and that goes upside down a couple times. It's kind of like the Big Apple coaster if it wasn't dog crap. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and then after that, we got another big park, Nagashima Spa Land, for 2 days. Gosh. People call it the Cedar Point of Japan. It looks absolutely crazy. They have, 12 coasters there? Something like that.
Just saying this for the camera is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Surreal. Of course, the standouts here are Steel Dragon 2000, the world's longest roller coaster, and Hakuge, which is another very highly anticipated one from RMC. It looks like one of their best coasters.
This could be the best coaster in Japan. This looks incredible.
It absolutely could be. They also have a ton of other good rides. A lot of them are clones, though. So, they have a Manta clone. They have a 40 free spin. They have an Ultra Twister, which... we were planning on doing multiple of those on this trip, but really looking forward to that model because it's exclusive to Japan. Yeah,
every opportunity you get, you take because the Ultra Twister is a dying breed. You don't know if they're going to be operating. They're also kind of problematic rides, and so I think there's 3 left in Japan. This is the one that's probably most likely to be operating without any problems because it's at Nagashima Spa Land, which, according to what I've heard, is a very well-maintained park.
Yeah, so this is going to be a really big park, a tough one to tackle in one day, so we're planning 2 days here.
And next is Park España. This is a park I'm sure many of you have not heard of, but they are home to a Bolliger and Mabilliard inverted coaster called Pyrenees. Many people who ride this say it is the best B&M invert.
I could absolutely see that.
The layout is crazy. It's like a supersized Batman clone. I already love Batman clones.
Oh, yeah.
This looks like it rips. So, also, too, this is such a themed park, and people don't realize it. It is gorgeous. It is so beautiful, and they have so many cool rides, and I cannot wait. This is another one. It's kind of like Nasu Highland. It's a massive detour to go here, but I think it will be worth it. I think this is a must-do in Japan.
I think this could be one of the most underrated parks of
it could be one of the best parks in Japan, for sure.
And then another big one, Universal Studios Japan. This is the other park that we were talking about earlier in the video that we are scared for the crowds here.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the highest attended theme parks in the world.
It is, yeah.
The Japanese go absolutely crazy for their Universal and Disney parks, but we are really excited for this one. They, of course, have Flying Dinosaur, which looks nuts, super intense. Josiah's done it already, and
actually, Josiah's been to Japan. That's something I should have mentioned too. Yeah, not all the parks are going to be new for him. All the small ones will, and then Korea will be new for him as well.
Right, but yeah, he keeps talking that up, so we are really looking forward to that one. They also have Hollywood Dream, which is mini B&M Hyper.
You ride that reverse.
That goes backwards.
That's cool.
Has backwards trains. They also have a unique looking spinning coaster that's indoors.
Oh my god, I've heard amazing things about that, and I don't even know why. I don't know anything about that. I don't know a lot about a lot of these coasters that are indoor going into these blind. I think that's what's going to make this trip really, really interesting.
Yeah, and then one of the rides I'm most looking forward to is Jaws, which we no longer have in the States. I think that looks like such a cool classic Universal ride where you have a cast member, on the ride, similar to like Jungle Cruise or something like that. That'll be really fun. I'm really looking forward to that. And we're only planning one day at this park. It does look like it gets very crowded, but the thing is, a lot of the rides here are clones.
Yeah, we've done them before. Yeah, so we don't need to ride those if we have to skip some stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, it would be nice. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. Next day, we're going to be doing a sightseeing day in Osaka, and then we also found out that there was a small park kind of near that city, or in it even, which is Hirakata Park. And they have an intimate wooden coaster, I think called Elf, so that'll be pretty cool.
Episode of Little Fairies Roller Coaster.
I forgot
Shout out to our friend Antonio for mentioning that.
I completely forgot that was the name for it. That's ridiculous. And they have a bunch of other little coasters that look fun, like a jet coaster too. That's another staple in Japan that I'm looking forward to experiencing. But I think Elf is kind of the one that we wanted to go to
intimate and wooden roller coasters.
Those are rare, so that'd be cool.
Then the next day we will be hitting another couple small parks, including Himeji Central Park, which is a park that has a Batman clone called Diavolo.
Shoots water.
It shoots water at you. They also have a rare Maurer roller coaster called Venus GP.
Yeah, that's new also. That I think operated at Space World and was relocated to this park. That's huge. So this park is kind of on the up because honestly, they have a pretty great little lineup.
And then we're also planning on hitting Brazilian Park with Shoes and Highland that day, which is, But then later that day, we'll be going to a park called Brazilian Park with Shoes and...
Like, why is it called that, dude?
Another place that you might not have heard of.
They also have an Ultra Twister. So
they have an Ultra Twister. Hopefully that'll be operational when we go. You might know this park for the super weird, sketchy bike ride that they have that kind of goes
off over a cliff and has the view of the bay. Oh my god, that's going to freak me out. And that's going to be it for Japan for now. Then we're going to be hopping on a plane to South Korea, specifically Busan in the southern part of the country where you have two signature amusement parks, and then you also have two signature amusement parks up in the northern part of the country. And then we're also going to sprinkle in a couple small parks as well. But the one that we are going to be hitting first will be Lotte's Magic Forest. That's a park I'm guessing basically none of you have heard of because it is brand spanking new. If you've heard of Lotte World up in Seoul, this is basically their second park. And it looks really beautiful. They only have a Mach Rides Blue Fire clone and a Mach Rides Power Splash. Those are pretty much the only two rides I'm aware of at this park, but it does look gorgeous, and it's convenient for us to get to, so we figured may as well.
And then we're going to Jeonju World, which is a park that has a B&M dive coaster. They also have a B&M invert called Phaethon, and they just got an RMC Raptor called Skull and Hattie. It's a clone of Stunt Pilot and Fire Runner, so we're looking forward to that.
This is one of this might be Korea's best coaster park, actually. 3 great coasters, and you factor in the fact that apparently it's always quiet here, so you can just kind of ride over and over again. Looks fantastic, actually. I'm really excited for a Jeonju World.
And then if we have time, there's a small park called E-World that's pretty close by. They have a really strange looking ride called Camel Coaster.
It's a jet coaster. It looks crazy. It has some like airtime hills that look nuts.
So hopefully we can go there, but that's time permitting.
Next up, I think I could speak for all of us, most anticipated park in South Korea, which is going to be Everland, because they are home to T-Express, which looks so cool. That's going to be the last of the 4 Intamin prefabricated wooden coasters for me, and that layout looks nuts. What it is basically your first few elements are a lot like El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, followed by the entirety of the layout on Balder at Liseberg, which is a ride that I already adore, but you're also going through that layout quite a bit faster than Balder. Looks unbelievable. I'm fully expecting it to be South Korea's best coaster, and hell, it could be one of the best, if not the best coaster of the trip. We'll see.
Yeah, the setting on this ride looks crazy as well. Like,
just the park in general.
We both love El Toro, but I could see this ride being even better.
I really
and
could.
Not a ton of enthusiasts have gotten out here to ride this, but the few that have seem to really love it. And
I know
hype
a couple
it up
guys
quite a
that
bit.
this is their number one coaster.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's
So
saying a lot.
I mean, man, if Edge and Ike is not my most anticipated of the trip, it would definitely be this.
Yeah.
Like, those two are for sure the ones I'm most looking forward to.
Because with Hakuge, you know, we've been on RMCs before that kind of feel like that. There's nothing like Edge and Ike unless you go to China, and there's sure as hell nothing like D-Express. So this is going to be so cool.
Okay, and then the next day we're going to be heading into Seoul and visiting Lotte World, which is another really cool looking park. We've heard it gets crazy crowded here.
It's one of the most busy. This and Everland are some of the most busy parks on the planet. We are expecting to be. It's going to be a challenge. Let's just say that.
Yep. The signature coaster here is an Intamin Aqua Tracks called Atlantis Adventure.
Only one of its kind in the world. Looks really awesome.
Really interesting. Has some cool theming.
Honestly, I was going to say it's not even like close to my most anticipated in the park. The park is half indoor, half outdoor, and they have a ton of dark rides, and it looks awesome, dude. Yep. This place is going to blow our minds. I wouldn't be surprised if this were the best park in South Korea.
I could see it because everyone knows about Everland because of T-Express, but Lotte World, I mean...
They have the depth.
Yeah, they have great depth, and it looks like a really nice park as well.
And then sadly, that's going to be it for Jack as well as Evan. So then Josiah and I are going to be continuing on and hitting a couple more small parks that we couldn't bear not to visit on this trip. We're going to do one more day in South Korea and hit Seoul Land. This park has a couple really interesting coasters that are all apparently garbage. That'll be really interesting. One of them is Black Hole 2000. It's supposed to be one of the roughest things like ever. And then they also have some other looping coaster that's trash. But I think for the content, it'll be so funny. That'll be one of the funniest vlogs on the channel, I think. From there, Josiah and I are going to be making our way back over to Japan, actually, and specifically the southern part of the country, because we're going to be going to two parks down there, one of them being Kijima Kogen. This is a park that is also pretty obscure, hard to get to, but they are home to Jupiter, which is a massive Intamin wooden coaster. I believe it's like the 4th longest wooden coaster in the world.
Crazy
it's
long
insane,
ride.
And the terrain is beautiful in this park. They have some volcanoes nearby. It's stunning. We're also going to be checking out Greenland. This is not even close to one of my most anticipated parks of the trip, but they literally have like 10 roller coasters, so we couldn't skip it.
Ton of credits.
They do, but here's the thing about Greenland is not really any of them are that special, except for an Ultra Twister, which sadly doesn't run anymore. It's standing but not operating. Could reopen someday, but probably not in time for our trip. Fortunately, we have lots of other Ultra Twisters that we'll be trying to get on, as we talked about. But Greenland in general, very quirky Japanese park. It'll be fun to visit, but I'm not really looking forward to that many of those rides. And then from the southern part of Japan to the northern part of Japan, we're going to be flying to Sapporo for another 2 parks. The reason we really wanted to do this is to hit a place called Rasutsu Resort, which is so scarcely visited by coaster enthusiasts. This place is so cool. It is up in the mountains. There's volcanoes nearby, just like Kijima Kogen, and this time your headliner is the only dive loop Ultra Twister coaster in the world. It has a crazy fast double heartline roll at the end. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the most fast inversions in the world. And on top of that, they also have a very interesting Maisho shuttle loop, another Maisho coaster to get on there. That'll be great. I think Rasutsu Resort has the potential to be one of the better parks in Japan as well. And then to cap off the trip, we are going to be checking out Hokkaido Greenland, which is a park that was just in the area. We figured, why not? They have a jet coaster there too, a lot like the one we discussed at eWorld, so that'll be cool as well. That's it for all your parks.
It's a massive trip.
Oh, it's a monster of a trip for sure.
Yeah.
You're not even doing the whole thing, and it's the biggest trip you've ever done.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And what's going to be crazy about this is I think it'll be like a bit of a culture shock for us.
It definitely will.
Josiah has traveled in Asia before, but it's a completely new continent for the rest of us.
Yep.
So experiencing that together for the first time it's going to be crazy.
It will.
Oh, man, I'm so excited for it.
I could speak for Evan, too. He's unbelievably stoked. This group is going to be awesome. Thank you all so much, and we will see you then. Peace out, guys.